Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Now, I think that quote serves us very well in understanding the energy that we will experience today and will experience until I think it finally peters out on Monday for us. So, throughout the weekend, we may be experiencing deep emotional intensity, transformation, power struggles within our relationships, also finances. And even though this is going to be challenging energy for us, confronting our deepest wounds, frustrations, and fears, facing them is the first step to allow in healing. And that leads to profound personal, financial, and relationship breakthroughs. So join me as we embark on a journey of self discovery, unlocking your path forward to transformation and success, embracing this energy, owning this energy, and moving forward today and every day. So, hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the positive, loving support you send me each and every day. And welcome to your daily focus, July the 12th, 2024. So, of course, we'll dive first into the numerology. We have the 12 energy today. The 12 energy is being in the moment. The 12 energy is about, being in the moment, being present in the moment, thinking through things more of a logical sense rather than an emotional sense. Looking at where we have controls in our life, where we need control in our life, where we need to let go of control in our life. To look at some of our situations from different viewpoints. To not rush into any decisions. And I think on a day like today, or the energy of this weekend even, that we want to think through what we are going to say so that we have healthy dialogue. 1 plus 2 is a 3 energy. The 3 energy is about transformation, creativity, curiosity. Daily numerology would be a 7 plus a 3 plus an 8, and that gives us an 18 energy, and that is by knowing our own heart. That is having a relationship with ourselves and knowing what makes us happy, enthusiastic, what aligns us, what brings us into balance, where do we feel secure, how do we feel safe. 1 plus 8 is a 9 energy, and the 9 energy is all about releasing, letting go, putting completions on things, and allowing in healing in order to open up the doors to new beginnings, new starts, adventures, and opportunities. When we look at the astrology, the sun is in Cancer, the moon will be in Libra. Now, Venus sits opposite Pluto today. Okay, Venus, our planet of love, and our Pluto, our warrior, our extreme warrior, wanting success at all costs, whatever the cost. So these two are opposing in the sky, and that is inviting in a deep and intense experience, or 2 or 3, within our relationships. Our closest relationships, and of course our relationship with money. It's about uncovering hidden emotions and powerful dynamics. And it could really be a strong period of profound transformation for you and growth. Okay, and it will come through the challenges and confrontations. So this is kind of an energy where we have to look fear in the eye and walk through it anyways. Where we have to understand that we are more powerful than anything that is put in front of us. And sometimes we don't see our greatness until we face our fear and walk through it. So this is an energy that we're invited to look at our relationships, confront, address any kind of underlying problems. And maybe you haven't wanted to think about it, acknowledge it, discuss it, simply because maybe it always ends in an argument, or your words fall on deaf ears, or it might be something that doesn't resonate with your beliefs, your attitudes. And if we're talking money, perhaps you're not taking a budget seriously, or perhaps it slips through your fingers as fast as it shows up for you. Maybe you're too generous, or maybe you are hoarding it rather than using it as the vehicle it was meant to be in your life. And if we're talking about the people closest to us, then perhaps we've not been honest with ourselves. We continue to wear those rose colored glasses. But it's time to take those glasses off and to see the reality of the situation. What resonates with you? What do you enjoy? What do you love? But what needs to be addressed? Right now is the time to push past those fears, those anxieties, engage in an open and honest communication, expressing your true feelings and listening to theirs. It's time to take care of your own emotional well being. So, self love is definitely a part of this energy. Make sure throughout the next several days that you are taking time to do the things that you like to do that bring in peace, balance, harmony. Okay, like I said, it's going to be with us until Monday. So we need to stay on the alert for emotions like jealousy and possessiveness. Watch out for power struggles, manipulation, and we may experience them from another, or we might recognize them within ourselves. So this is a time to be honest, authentic, walk with a sense of integrity. Okay, this is a time to let go of unhealthy patterns that are in your life right now, existing, and strive for the positive change that you want. And it could be very overwhelming. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, self reflection, journaling, meditation, all great ways to retreat and allow yourself time to process, to understand things with a little bit more clarity. And it's time to allow the light in and heal. Okay, let's go to the cards. The phoenix rising out of the ashes there. So, on the bottom, we'll see what shows up though in our reading. My gosh, I can't grip the cards. There we are. Whew, that was a struggle. Okay, here we go. Look at this, the Ace of Cups. Embrace the new beginnings, the new positive things that you want to bring in your life. Maybe it's a positive twist in the relationship. Maybe there's something that you need to talk about. Maybe they spend too much, or they're always watching every penny you spend, or because it could be a financial thing. It could be how they give love, how they receive love, or how you give love and receive love. It could be different scenarios that are just happening within your relationship right now where you're butting heads. Or maybe it's something that it used to be something that you liked about them, but after a long time, it is now the most irritating thing they do. And it's just like nails on a chalkboard every time they do it. And so it's about being open and honest about who you are, how you feel, and what positive change can happen. And yeah, so I don't like to use the word compromise. Collaborate. Collaborate new ways of going forward together. Maybe you like doing stationary things like puzzles and games, and they like hiking. And how do you combine those two, or how do you balance those two? So that you're either both participating or you're doing those things on your own independently, and you come together for other things, and you allow each other the space to do the things that they love, and they allow you the space to do the things you love. This is about embracing positive new steps forward. This is creating, I mean, the smallest of changes in our life can lead to such monumental transformations in our world. So don't think that anything is too small. Don't think you have to look for these grand problems in your life. It'll be the little things that get you the most. But maybe where they're throwing breadcrumbs, or where they're gaslighting you, or where they just never live up to their word, or their duties, or their responsibilities, or their obligations, or whatever it might be. Or maybe you just aren't paying attention to your budget, or how to move your money in a way that it works for you rather than you working for it all the time. We have the Two of Wands, and this is summoning in new beginnings, new starts, and whatever it is. Okay, I see that you have cleared the path. You have been working hard to invite in the energy. And we do have the 9 energy today, which is saying what else needs to be completed, what else needs to be done. before we go into, well, we are in new moon energy now. So, in order to step into it, so maybe it's something little and practical in order for you to step forward today in some new way, in some new adventure, new opportunity. Maybe you've done the work and now you are trying to take the first steps to make it tangible, to make it real. Maybe it's something in a certain environment. The Six of Swords is about also going forward, new uncharted territories. Absolutely. Look at you. You're sitting in that boat. The water's calm. The swords in front of the boat are your confidence and courage and strengths and capabilities. And I think you've been waiting. You've been waiting for this right moment. So you've been sitting there because this boat. Let's try and get it so that you can see the boat. There we are. The back of it. I know the camera reflection is there. The back of it is designed to have a motor attached. And maybe we've been sitting there passively waiting for the motor because we wanted to do it the easy way. But we also have this long pole, which will be a little bit more work, but it'll get us there in due time. And so maybe we are going to set out because we are going to understand in this moment in time that the journey is also part of the wonderment of the success down the road. This is, well, I shouldn't say road when we're on water, but going into uncharted territories, uncharted land, unknown to you. Exhilarating, yes, and a little fearful because you don't know what to expect, but at the same time, the anticipation of what might unfold, what might lie in wait for you to step into. So maybe you've been thinking about doing the same thing for a very long period of time. And maybe through that, you see an opportunity that's similar to it, that you can do everything that you wanted to do just with a different title or under a different name, or there's some kind of transference of maybe it won't happen here, but if you go over here, it's very much. I remember a story from long ago. We had a white witch in the neighborhood, so to speak. And when I was young, they talked about the white witch that lived in the neighborhood. And later on, I met somebody that had a reading, and she had a boy and a girl. And she says, "Yeah, she told me that I was going to have three children." And I said, "Well, you have two." She says, "Yes, but I also had this young girl living with me for like 4 or 5 years, and I became her parent. So technically, I had three." And I guess it was years later. She had walked by the white witch at a shopping mall or something, and she grabbed her by the arm and said, "I never said you'd give birth to all three." And she kept walking. So so sometimes we have this vision of what we want in our life and how we're going to obtain it, and sometimes obtaining it that way isn't going to happen. So we have to find a new route. So here I wanted this big family, but I found I was unable to. But I had an opportunity to foster another child, or adopt a child, or become the special aunt or uncle to a child within the family. Even, the uncle or aunt could just be in quotation marks. So, and I just use that for a scenario. So understand, I get this kind of transference of knowledge in some way, even though we're setting out into new territories. Some of it is known to us, or some of the end results remain the same. It's just how we get there may change or fluctuate, and we need to be open to that. We also have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is your wishes fulfilled. So this is the time to dream of the possibilities of what you want, especially in your relationship, especially in your financial matters. And we're not going to wish and hope and put on those rose-colored glasses under this kind of energy, because that's just nonsense. We need to get practical. We need to understand, what are the little steps I can do each day. People, they talk about, oh, I throw a dollar in the in the kitty every day, and then at the end of the year I got like $300 in there. 400, right? And it pays for a little mini vacation for myself, or covers a couple of gifts, or I can buy something bigger because I have more money to work with, kind of thing. Or they do $2 or $5. And that's great if you are practical enough to do that. But you can't just say it and then, all of a sudden it's 2 days before payday and you're cracking open the bank and you're, well, I'll take $10 out now and I'll be good. And, at the end of the year, you got $50 in there and you're like, how did that happen? So it's about not only the consistency, but also the focus and walking with a sense of authenticity towards yourself and your commitments and your goals and your dreams. So what do you truly desire? What is doable? What do you really believe you can do if you give it the focus, if you give it the attention it deserves and needs to grow? Okay, let's get an oracle card. Okay, we have Seek Beauty, the 44. And some thoughts of numerology, 44 is a master number. In others, 44 is not a master number, but a very significant number nonetheless. I'm not going to get into that as much. But with a 44, that is essentially an 8 energy. First of all, it's about home and family, our safety and security. But if you go 4 plus 4, it is the 8 energy, which is growing our prosperity, of growing our stature. Love matters. The way you handle things is important. There will always be many challenges and life lessons. That is part of this experience. Choose to learn from your encounters. Get your heart ready to receive and allow for the various emotions that you may be feeling. Consider what makes you happy. This is a time to allow yourself a day of enjoyment. Love who you are and be willing to give and receive love unconditionally. And that really matches the energy of the day, doesn't it? There will always be many challenges and life lessons. That's part of life. That's about the human experience. Okay, we all showed up. We're essentially in school, right? We are learning, growing. Oh, that's 4 or 5. So I'll put those back in. Have to do a separate video just for all the animals that flew out. Okay, let's see. It's a rowdy bunch here. My goodness, settle down, cards. We'll get to y'all. Okay, oh, look at this. Deep rest. The little mouse. Deep rest. Okay. Let's see what our little mouse wants to tell us about deep rest. Lazy, sleep, rest, and meditate. Rest is not idleness, and to sometimes lie on the grass under the trees on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of water or watching the clouds float across the sky, is by no means a waste of time. So Mouse says it's time for you to make time for laziness. You don't always have to constantly be on the go. After all, that is how you become run down. Spend a little time each day or week doing something that you enjoy that is completely frivolous and fun. It could be just an afternoon laying in a hammock, reading a book, watching your favorite old movie, or playing with the kids. It's not a time to really step into the new, but it is definitely a time to restore and heal your spirit. Sometimes rest doesn't necessarily have to be sleeping, but just quieting your mind. So take some time to ground yourself by taking a yoga class, gardening, fishing, spending time in nature. Spend at least 10 minutes a day meditating and just being in the moment. You don't have to physically be in your happy place to go to your happy place. It can simply be within your mind. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. I can absolutely say that is true. But meditation can be gardening, fishing, spending time in nature. Meditation isn't always sitting there and going, "Om." In fact, that's probably the one of the smaller slices of actually the whole meditation process. So, yes, we may have challenges, but look fear in the eye. You've got this. You can accomplish. You can go forward. You have the strength. You have the capabilities. You are a wonderful spiritual being having a wonderful human experience. So rejoice and be happy that these lessons show up in your life so that you can grow and step into your successes of tomorrow. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.